PMG Radio. Respect your jaw.
Okay. All right. So let's get into the young man. I want to call him Junior, but what's his full name? For the record, pull up his full name for me, Eliza, please.
It's Lesandro Guzman. Okay.
Yeah,
Guzman.
definitely pull it up. Pull it up.
Feliz.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Do you know what it is? No, do you know what it is? It's because I can't really pronounce it properly, to be honest with you. I thought I had the pronunciation down packed until I heard someone from the
Yeah, I
Bronx
haven't
say
seen
it.
his full name written that much. It's just been Junior.
It's just
everywhere.
been Junior.
Yeah. But let me quickly get it.
That shit's tragic.
Quick. But I believe I had it right. Yeah, Lesandro Guzman-Feliz.
Got you. Young man that was brutally murdered in the Bronx. On video is definitely sent shockwaves through social media, not even just locally, nationwide. And the hashtag Justice for Junior has been trending for the past few days on social media. And yeah, man, just initial thoughts upon hearing the story. What did you think, Eliza, when you first heard the story?
First of all, I haven't even seen the video.
Oh, you haven't seen the video?
I'm not watching that. I refuse to watch it.
Me
Like, I
neither.
kind
I
of
didn't
saw
watch
like a picture of a little bit of him getting dragged. I don't want to see the video. I can't really stomach it. It's heartbreaking. It's sad. And the thing that hurts me is the fact that he ran back into the store to kind of get help and get protection, and nobody wanted to help him. I understand they may have been scared for their lives or whatever, but what I heard is that even after he'd been stabbed and then went back into the store and he was stabbed up, the guy behind the till was still serving somebody and counting up his change and didn't want to help him. Like that's very, very heartbreaking, because it's like that could be somebody's brother, somebody's son, somebody's cousin, and just to know that there's people out there who may be able to help, but even in a situation like that will still turn their backs is very, very sad.
Indeed, man. Jay, what was your thoughts when you heard about this one here?
No, I don't even know. Like, I was just like, what? Like, I just couldn't understand it. I was like, wait, what happened? And I'm like, why? That's the whole thing. I was just like, why?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why that, like, because we know random shit happens all the time.
Right.
But, like, that was random, but I was like, it couldn't have been random. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was really intent behind that. Like, they must have thought he was somebody, or, like, I didn't know the story then, but I was like, you don't just, like,
drag somebody out of the store.
like, it don't go that far.
It seemed like there was something going on. So not that it would justify it. I wasn't like, what did he do? But at the same time, you want to kind of know the full story.
And he was like, he said how old he was, and I'm just like, I was like, I don't know, man. Like,
yeah, it was insane, man. And I took a few things from it. One, how desensitized we have become as human beings, like how numb we've become to. It's borderline inhumane. Like, when you see, I know y'all said y'all didn't watch the video, but when you watch the video, it's borderline inhumane how we've become as a society to these things. Because, you have a young man who's running in this store fearing for his life, no shoes on, scared to death, trying to hop over the counter, scared. And then you have grown men literally pushing him out and allowing him to be dragged to his death. And then you have people outside, that's two people, two nurses in nurses' uniforms, scrubs and all, who are just walking by and act like it ain't happening. And
that was more my concern. I mean, at the end of the day, the people who did it, of course, horrible, terrible, didn't necessarily know the story behind it, obviously hate the fact that they did it. I was kind of concerned about the people around, because that could be anybody at any given time, and it's interesting to see bystander behavior. That's a real big thing.
You
like,
got to understand the mechanics of the hood. No, it's not even that. You got to understand the mechanics of the hood. In the hood, because this is, and mind you, this was in like probably one of the harder the ghettos of the Bronx, right? 180 3rd and Bathgate. It's like the heartbeat of the ghetto in the Bronx. And in the hood, one, you're taught to mind your business, right?
That's what I was gonna say.
That's one. You're taught to mind your business. Two, you're taught not to tell, right? You're taught not to call the police, right? And three, you're taught well, if it ain't nobody I'm related to, it don't matter. These are the things you're taught in the hood.
I feel that. I hear that.
You know what I'm
He
saying?
was young as hell though. Like, not that his, somebody who was like 2 years older would be any less valuable, because I did hear there was multiple stuff going on, like in the Bronx around that same period.
Right.
But still, like, seeing somebody that young and that vulnerable, regardless, like, if you have a heart, like, there's got to be something within you that makes you want to do something. Like, even if you can't, you're not going to try and fight off these dudes with machetes, but somebody call the cops. Like, I'm sorry, you can't tell me there was not one person around that could not call the cops.
But that's what I said.
You can say mind your business, go around the fucking corner and call the cops.
No, but like I said, in that type of environment, in that type of neighborhood, like I said, these people have been conditioned to be a certain way.
Or even thinking, looking at it like, oh, what did he do to deserve that? You know what I'm saying? Just automatically assuming that he did something to warrant.
Or it's like, well, this is clearly a young man, and you clearly have these adult males that are coming in here chasing him. And for me, even with me being from the ghetto, I'm like, well, I don't know where he fucked up at, but this can't happen on my watch.
Right.
Y'all gonna have to catch him another time.
All these grown men and this 15-year-old, there's nothing that
who is clearly scared to death. Like, there's a video of him literally hopping over the counter for his life, trying to hide. He is scared to death.
And the sad thing is, now that we know, he had no idea why they were doing this to him, because he was innocent of whatever it is that they felt they were getting.
Right.
I mean, revenge back on. So
and he was clearly aware of how far it could go, because he knows the environment he's in. He knows that this is a gang environment. He knows that this is an environment where people get killed. He knows that this is an environment where people get shot. He knows that this is that type of hood he's in. So he clearly understands the ramifications of what he's about to step into, and he's trying to run away from it. You understand what I'm saying? And so many people failed this young man. And I think that's why this story has touched so many people, because, you know, niggas die on the block every day. So what makes this one so different? Well, there's a lot that makes this one different, because it was just fucked up. And one thing I am proud of, especially for the Bronx, is that even how fucked up a lot of people think the Bronx is, that during a situation like this, that people can identify right from wrong. This was just wrong.
Right.
I don't give a fuck what ghetto you from or what you rap or anything. This was just straight up wrong.
6 grown men.
Right, and the hood was able to identify how wrong this was. Right. You understand what I'm saying? And that's one thing I am proud of. Yeah. That, you know, the ghetto was able to stand together and say, nah, this was wrong. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Because don't think that was the first murder that happened in that hood. You know what I mean? Like, niggas die all the time.
I think, didn't the shot officially get, didn't the corner store officially get shut down because people...
Yeah, because what they did was wrong. That's crazy. What they did, literally pushing that man out that door. That's wrong.
They did that. I mean, I don't...
you gotta watch the video.
I didn't watch the video. I
They're literally pushing him out the door and allowing him to be dragged to his death. That's wrong, man. That's not right. It's a shame, and it's cowardly, and it's fucked up, and I'm glad they're all caught. And whoever did snitch, fuck it. Snitch away. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. This one is worth it. Yeah.
Snitch the fuck away. They don't need to make money in that hood anymore. Like, all that shit.
Right. Fuck that. Because, you know, we got to protect our women and children. Because think about it. Think about this, right? If Malcolm X would have died at 25, he would have died a pimp and a hustler.
Right.
Facts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because we wouldn't have known what that story would have grown into.
Right.
So that's what happens when we lose the youth. We don't know what their story would have grown into.
Right.
And it's like, yo, you see that for so many prominent people in our culture. Mm-hmm. Who knows what would have happened? Like, we don't know what Pac and Biggie would have been because they died so early.
Right, that's true.
We have no clue. And it's fucked up that 2 dudes who had such big voices weren't here to fully live out their stories.
Right, their full potential.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
That's why it's annoying to see all these like young rappers now. I mean, doing the same thing. I could never ever freaking say his name.
XXXTentacion, yeah.
Yeah, but I actually started to get into his music, believe it or not. Like, you know what I mean?
I don't believe it, but yeah, go ahead.
No shit.
I don't believe it.
Who wants to pull up my iTunes right now? Listen, who wants to pull up my iTunes? I started to get into his music. I found him very, very interesting. But just seeing, you know what I mean, that happen, and just seeing the stuff that's going on with all these kids, I would say, in New York and Chicago and all of that stuff. And you know what I mean? It's really, really sad to see. And yeah, I'm just
fucked up.
It's just sad.
Let's do